He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where we talk about life, talk about liberty, and talk about the pursuit of happiness, and show the world that us Cajuns do have intelligence. Hope you're having a good day, good week. Hope you had a good weekend and a great holiday, remembering the resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Because remember, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Like I just said, ladies and gentlemen, hope everyone had a great Easter. We had a tremendous week of church, if you could say. Jimmy Swaggart Ministries put on a resurrection camp meeting in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Got there Friday night, got there Saturday afternoon, Saturday night. Didn't go Sunday. We had our own church service, and the Spirit of God came down upon us at our little local church. And God has been doing great and marvelous things. We're excited. We're blessed. We're encouraged, ladies and gentlemen, to live in a great nation to where we can express our freedom of religion like we want to. Unfortunately, it is slowly being taken away. I said it in the last podcast how there's how Christians are looked down on, and this has got all kind of stuff going on. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, hope you had a great Easter. We're praying that the Lord encourage you in this time and season. I have my voice back, have it all the way. And there were some people that reached out to me and said, Isaac, if you wouldn't have said anything, we wouldn't have known. But I knew I was struggling. I was struggling the last two episodes to get my groove on and to talk about topics of today. And I'm just, I'm ready, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready to get down, especially with the stories that I'm going to talk about tonight. They've been festering a little bit. And I want to go ahead and just, I'm seeing hypocrisy at its finest again. And I usually see that with the left. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the left surprises me every time I hear a story like this. It just pushed me back for a second, like, wow, they did it again. It's not like, oh, a surprise, the left did this again. Or, man, I didn't think the left would try this again. And all this stuff, the hypocrisy, is not surprising me no more. And I'm understanding what the great late Rush Limbaugh would say when he would come on the air and he would say, look, things that the left does don't surprise me no more. Rush said that he studied the left for 30 odd years and nothing surprised him. And I'm getting to that point right now. Yes, I am 30 years old, but doing this podcast faithfully now for 2.5 years, a lot of this stuff don't surprise me no more. It's rare if I see a news article and I can say, wow, the left did something that really surprised me. And like I said, this week I seen hypocrisy at its finest. So let's go back a couple of weeks ago. Well, I say about a week ago. Well, no, I'm trying to remember. Let's just say a couple of weeks. We had the Nashville shooting. That was a horrible event, and the left took this and ran full force with it. Their main focus is that we need more gun control. We need more. We need to stop guns from hitting the street. And they went to their leftist anti-Second Amendment argument. Now, the second segment is going to tie into that as well with the transgender movement and what they're doing with this whole shooting and stuff. But we're going to say that for the second segment. But I reported here that the Tennessee House got together for their legislation to get together to make the laws of their state. Louisiana is on I believe tomorrow, well, at the time of this recording, when you hear it, it'll be the Monday, the April 10th. Our legislators are going to go to Baton Rouge and they're going to start their process to put in laws. We heard from Danny McCormick when he talked about Second Amendment bills that he's putting in there. They're moving forward with this legislation. So, but Tennessee was in the middle of it, and people stormed the Tennessee Capitol in Nashville. And it was under the impression of gun activists. They wanted to, anti-gun activists, excuse me. They wanted to go ahead and make known their voice that they wanted Tennessee to do something about gun legislation. They wanted it to be harder to buy firearms. They wanted Tennessee to do things that would stop shootings like what happened in Nashville. Granted, my argument is, I don't think one more gun law would have stopped that young lady from going in that school and committing harm. That was in her heart. We talked a whole podcast on this. But ladies and gentlemen, these people stormed the Capitol and they interrupted the proceedings that were going on in the Capitol. We also had some state troopers having to fight off protesters because the protesters were trying to trample the state troopers. But ladies and gentlemen, and it just mind boggles me. My mind is boggled by the reaction to the left. Why? Because when I first reported this story, I asked where was the calls for insurrection, and it took a different twist now this week when the Tennessee House voted to boot 2 Democrat members who joined with the mob in the Capitol protests. So they had 3 representatives. 2 were booted out. 1 was spared by a couple of votes, which I think they should have told them all to go. But 1 was spared. She made some comments, and we're going to talk about that a little later on. But 3 Democrat members of the leading Tennessee's Republicans held House voted Thursday to expel 2 out of the 3 Democrat members for leading what the House leadership called an insurrection at the state capitol last week following the Nashville shooting. The House voted to expel Nashville Representative Justin Jones, 72-25, and Memphis Representative Justin Pearson, 68-26, for disorderly conduct. And it's via House Resolution 65 and House Resolution 63, introduced Monday. Jones and Pearson and Knoxville Rep. Gloria Johnson joined a group of gun control protesters in the building last Thursday, and joined in chants via a blowhorn between bills. Resolution to explain the 3 of them were introducing Monday, according to the Tennessean. That's a local newspaper. So what happened was these 3 members of the House representatives in Tennessee went ahead and joined in the protesters. They took a blowhorn, and I seen the videos. They were in a blowhorn cheering on the people to go ahead and to make noise and to disrupt the process of law. Now we had this Miss, let me find her name. Gloria Johnson was saved from this vote. They didn't vote her out, but in her defense, she said, "Oh, the only reason they didn't do it is because I'm white." The other 2 were African American. No, when they went to talk about it, I just stood there with him. I didn't do anything. So she wanted to be seen but not heard. But now that they voted the other 2 out and left her in, it's a race issue all of a sudden. They were black and I'm white. That's why they didn't vote me out. It's a racist thing with the Republican Party. And it wasn't so. A lot of the Republicans that voted to keep her in there said, no, she did a good job making the case that she did not have nothing with this. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because I just went on a rampage. I gave you a lot of content. I like doing that. I like telling y'all the story around it. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the media has been defending these people, especially CNN. When the Tennessee House Speaker was up on CNN, he had to walk out of the midway through the interview because CNN was trying to grill him how this was not American and how this was wrong. You have on a panel on CNN where they say no one cares about the rules. CNN panel defends Dems who joined with the mob in the state protest. You had President Joe Biden say that this was undemocratical, how that they can't even voice their opinion at this peaceful protest. Ladies and gentlemen, this was not a peaceful protest. This was a riot. as January 6th was. So all you people on the left, oh, see that he's condemning that, but not condemning January 6th. No, these people ransacked the Capitol. We call it what it is, a riot. Yeah, you can call it insurrection. You can call it whatever. This is where this is where I'm seeing the hypocrisy in this, ladies and gentlemen. The Democrats are quick to defend these Democrats that interrupted a government proceeding, a government process to pass laws and everything. And now that the Republican Party is doing what the Democrats did on January 6th, oh, it's undemocratic. Don't you remember, though, it was undemocratic to rush the Capitol back in January 6th, but is democracy working when the left goes ahead and does it? Now, this ain't the only time the left has done this since January 6th, mind you. In Oklahoma, I believe it was Oklahoma, you had LGBTQ activists rush the Capitol and take over. I think it was Oklahoma. It was maybe Oklahoma or Ohio, one of the two. But they ransacked the Capitol, and they were praised for it. Oh, look at the democracy working at its finest. But if you compare this to January 6th, because January 6th is supposed to be the pedestal, it's supposed to be the standard that we hold these people responsible by. The Democrats don't want to hold their own supporters to their standards. Why am I mean by standards? Well, how many people were put in jail because they interrupted the proceedings to elect a new duly elected president? Oh, wait, hold on, Isaac. Hold on. That you can't use that as an example because that was for the leader of our country. But the way that the left was putting it, oh, it's wrong that they ransacked the Capitol. It was an insurrection, and they stopped the proceedings for us to have our president. And that's why some of these people on January 6th went to jail. But these Democrats are quoting anti-gun legislation. They're anti-Second Amendment. Oh, it's undemocratical that these Republicans voted him out. They were just making their opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, people rush the Nashville Capitol, the Tennessee Capitol. They were pushing on cops. So that's a whole nother thing, too. Remember on January 6th, and look, it was wrong for the people to harm them police officers. It was wrong. It was wrong. I'm going to say that to them, blue in the face. It was wrong. But they call that a supposedly peaceful protest when the Tennessee cops are being pushed back, the state troopers, and they're trying to tell the people to stop. But you have CNN, President Biden, you have all the major news networks defending this peaceful protest. Ladies and gentlemen, this protest turned violent, according to the people that say that January 6th was violent. And you see, and look, I don't know about you, and me reading this, you see the double standard. You see this double standard that the left has. The left says, oh, January 6th was an evil insurrection, and then people should be punished. But in Nashville, anti-gun activists ransacked that Capitol and interrupted the process for government. Oh, they shouldn't have been touched. Don't you see the double standard right there? This has been bothering me. When you and look, like I said, the left goes ahead and defends his own. This came from Political. Tennessee House expels one Democrat over gun protests, targeting two more. That was before they targeted. But if you read the Political article, they go ahead and make it like, oh, this was nothing. The Republicans just wanted to go ahead and vote out these two black representatives and leave a lot of Tennessee unrepresentative because they're mean, bad Republicans. But when I read the article I read earlier from the Daily Caller, it's totally opposite. See how the left tries to protect their own? And ladies and gentlemen, this right here is a double standard at its finest. It is hypocrisy at its finest. It is what it is. It was good for you. What's good for me is good for you. But what's good for me is I butchered that saying up. I messed up that saying. I apologize. Oh, let me use it like this. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. No, the left don't think that way. The left thinks, hey, we can get away with this, but you gotta obey the law. Except when we do it, then we're fine. And look, that's one reason why I call them the lawless society, the lawless party. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and take a break. I'll be back in a few moments. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
Your blood cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Listen to Alexander Ocasio-Cortez. I say listen, but I'm going to read an article, and this is from Fox News. How Alexander Ocasio-Cortez thinks that this is just horrible. AOC blasted for accusing GOP of being fascist after explaining removing of Tennessee House Democrats so dishonest, it's disgusting. So you had three individuals. One didn't get voted out, the lady. Well, she said the reason she didn't get out was because she was white, not because of her defense. Yeah, but yeah, all three of them pumping up the crowd and inciting the crowd to chant and to protest and to go ahead. Oh, it's disgusting. That was just a freedom of speech. And ladies and gentlemen, what happened on January 6th, they'll throw them all in jail. And look, I'm not condoning both these things because God forbid if I say that, or because, social media is going to say I'm trying to incite violence, and I'm not. But these individuals went ahead and incited a riot, basically. And the Democrats are, oh, stop it. Don't do that. You Republicans, y'all fascists. And if you think about this, look at it as in Ocasio-Cortez. Everything that somebody does on the right is fascist. This woman probably thought Rush Limbaugh was a fascist. They called Rush Limbaugh. They did call it. I don't know if Alexander Ocasio-Cortez did, but a lot of people called Trump, not Trump. Well, they called Trump too, but they Rush a fascist. Anybody on the right that they don't like what they're doing, they're fascists. Ladies and gentlemen, all the Republicans did was say, look, we're removing you from your post because you incited a riot and interrupted the proceeding of government. Now, like I said, that's wrong. They did that. Really? Well, the Democrats held the Republicans to that same standard on January 6th. And I understand the argument from the left. Oh, that was the United States Capitol. Yeah, but if these people can do this at state capitals, how you think they're not going to stop at a national capital? What would happen if something like that would happen when a Republican would win? And these people that are activists and say the president isn't anti-gun, he isn't for the LGBTQ community, he's going to put us in a communistic state or a fascist state, and they run to the national capital. Will that be representing a democracy? See what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? This is happening in state capitals. I'm not pushing aside January. January 6th shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. That done more harm to the Republican Party and the conservative movement than anything. That was wrong. As these other state capitals, these incidents at state capitals are wrong. But ladies and gentlemen, AOC, it is the GOP's a fascist. AOC has been making a lot of statements this week as well. Former bartender AOC says Biden should ignore court rulings, do what she says. This came on the bricks of a judge suspending a ruling for the so-called So the bartender turned lawmaker on Sunday said President Joe Biden should ignore the ruling of the federal judge who on Friday suspended the 2-decade-old approval of the so-called abortion pill while a legal challenge proceeds. So the judge said, look, we're going to stop it. The president came because I heard that the president started ramping up these abortion pills and sending them to states that outlaw abortion proceedings. So the president was trying to go around the Supreme Court and around state laws by sending in this bill, but a federal judge said, no, we're going to wait. So AOC, along with saying that we're fascists, is telling the president of the United States, don't listen to a federal judge. Does that sound like a rule of law or people that follow the law? No, it doesn't. So AOC made that claim. Let's see what else AOC. AOC claims there's a crime wave within GOP after saying officials should ignore court rulings. So after she said that, she says the GOP is nothing but a crime wave with Trump and others in the GOP that is committing crimes and are getting away with it. Coming from the same lady that says, hey, don't listen to a federal judge. Telling Obama, telling Trump, I'm mentioning all the presidents. Telling Biden, don't listen to a federal judge. But we need to go stop them GOP lawmakers that are starting crime and having crime waves. And if she wasn't really talking about a crime wave, we need to go ahead and talk about the Biden family. But, she will never, ever say anything like that. All right, so let's move on. So, ladies and gentlemen, since the Nashville shooting, it has been pretty clear that the left is trying to push an agenda and hide another. As I said, with these people that went to Tennessee and they went to promote their anti-Second Amendment views, and they can have it. They have the right in America to think that we should not have guns. They have the right to think that. And but the Nashville shooting has been prompting that conversation. Oh, we need to go ahead and not have guns. Now, there is another side of the story, though, that is catching waves. Since the left has been pushing anti-gun legislation, they're trying to hide the fact that the shooter of the Nashville shooting was transgender, while at the same time trying to promote transgenderism. Why do I say that? Well, I think it was this week, Budweiser went ahead, and look, I don't understand why Budweiser did. I am not a Budweiser drinker. I don't drink alcohol. I don't know why Budweiser did this, but Budweiser went ahead and got signed on people to promote their product. First off, what they did was they went ahead and they made their new cans where they had rainbows on them, and people are furious about that. But then they went ahead and signed, I believe it's the same person. Let me make sure before I make this statement, because I want to be sure that what I say is true. Let's see. Oh, I know they signed. I thought it was the same person that they signed. Was a Dylan McAvini. But anyway, Budweiser went ahead and signed a transgender person to promote their alcohol. At the same time, Nike went ahead and hired the same. So this is from Fox News right here. Nike for sure went ahead and hired as a representative Dylan Mulvaney partnership. And why we're having trouble? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is a transgender person. This is a male that was a male that says he was a female. Let me make sure, because like I said, I want to make sure, because this is a sensitive story. Athletic apparel giant Nike doubled down on the decision to use transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney in marketing campaigns to promote the company's female clothing. In a pinned comment to Nike verified Instagram account, the company ensured customers to be kind, be inclusive, and encourage each other. The response comes and calls for boycotts of the company shortly after Mulvaney, who identifies as a female, appears in paid social media content dancing in Nike sportswear. So what it is a guy that's dressed up like a lady, but he kept his real name, basically. But people are upset about this. I know somebody that loves Budweiser, and they're not drinking Budweiser no more. They went to, according to someone close to him, went ahead and found an American brewed beer that is MAGA and that loves America. And that's what we're gonna have to do, unfortunately, is have an alternate market. It's the same thing with Hershey's. A while back, Hershey Candy went ahead and made some remarks about being woke, and the co-founder of the Daily Wire made a candy bar, and that candy bar sold out the first day. Because people didn't want that wokeness and that agenda down their throats, so they found an alternate market and they went to it. But what really gets me right here, and look, they're pushing this. The left is pushing transgender. We heard about the CMT awards the other day. We have Budweiser or Bud Light or whoever making this can where they have the rainbows coming out. Now you have Nike hiring a person of the transgender community onto their staff or in their partnership because they want people to be exclusive. They want people to be included. They want all this stuff. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know the main reason why they're doing this. They're trying to push transgenderism, and these big companies are being told by somebody, hey, can you do this? Or ask if you can do this. And this is all because the left knows that it was a transgender person that shot up the Christian school. And we get more details about their motivation, that they wanted to attack a Christian school. That was their goal, because they didn't like Christianity. That's the common theme of what happened in Nashville. So the left don't want that bad light out there, so they think if they throw good publicity at it, people are going to forget that aspect of the Nashville shooting. And what was the ironic thing about this is that the left, when this first happened, was telling conservatives and people on the right, hey, don't focus on her sexuality. Don't focus on her transgenderism. Don't focus on that. Don't politicize that. But they went ahead and did the exact same thing. They went ahead and said, we can't have this out. We can't make the trans community look bad. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to promote it. They went out like a cannonball out of a cannon. And ladies and gentlemen, this is hurting these companies. Budweiser, as I said, is losing support. Also, Nike, this comes from Breitbart, Nike tells customers, be kind and exclusive after they face backlash with this. So Nike's basically telling their customers, if you don't like it, don't come to us. Now, Nike's a big enough company. I guess they can do that. I don't remember the last time I bought anything from Nike, to be honest with you. I don't have that much money to buy Nike. I just don't. Also, if you see my side, I'm not that athletic. I'm athletic, but I'm not that athletic. But anyway, But when I got this article right here, I was surprised when Nike just told their customers, hey, be kind, be exclusive. Basically telling the people that are their customers, we don't care what you think. See, it's the same thing with Budweiser. Now, I think Budweiser is going to have a tougher time than Nike because we already knew Nike was woke. And I'm not a Budweiser drinker. Like I said, I don't drink no alcohol whatsoever. I drink water or sodas or whatever. But I don't drink alcohol. And that is because of my spiritual belief. But ladies and gentlemen, Budweiser, you know how many people that are part of the right and Budweiser just told them, hey, go ahead and, don't care about it. We're going to hire this person. And like I said, I think Budweiser is gonna face a lot more, or is gonna hurt more than Nike does. But they're pushing this narrative, ladies and gentlemen. And any bad publicity, they're not gonna go ahead and push. Man, I'm really debating. Should I go there yet? Man, I want to really hit this home. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and take a break. But just remember this for on the other side of the aisle. Any bad publicity, they're trying to cover this up. They're trying to cover up, especially with the trans community, because that is their baby right now, and they're trying to push that all because of political agendas. They're trying to get those votes. That's what it really is about. But just remember this, they hide any bad news from the trans community because they don't want that community to look bad. And we're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and take my break now. Enjoy the commercial. I'll be right back in a few moments.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all one word. The Scott Ford Show, all one word, and it's on Rumble. I'd be very happy if you went ahead and subscribed, like Isaac. I'm a true American-loving patriot. Thank you, Isaac. God bless. Enjoy your life.
You're my peace of mind. When this old world seems to get me down.
All right, all right, everybody, welcome back to the third and final segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Today got a little tongue-tied right there. All right, I'm going to jump right back into this. Going back to what I was saying at the beginning of the break, or at the end of the last segment, how the left tries to cover up anything bad that happens. We just finished talking about there's this person going to Budweiser and to Nike. We already established the point that the left is trying to hide the fact that in the Nashville shooting, it was a transgender person. All they want to say is that, look, this was a gun-toting girl that did not like Christians and she went to shoot up a school. That's basically what they try to do. They can't hide it no more because the police already said, look, it was a transgender person. Or they were identifying as a trans, and since then, and I've been seeing this. A lot of you conservatives are probably noticing the same thing. They've been pushing the narrative of transgenderism, and that is the same thing with the Tennessee law that banned drag shows. You hear that's the concept. Oh, they banned all drag shows, and Tennessee says no, we're not banning all drag shows. We are banning them right by children. But the left conveniently don't bring that out, or people on the left. All you hear is Tennessee is trying to stop drag queen shows from happening in the state of Tennessee. And I've already said this before, they have the right to have a drag show as long as no children are involved. And I used the example of a strip joint. Adults can go in there. But try to bring a child into a strip club or something. Oh, the police will be all over you. That is exposing children to private things that only adults should see. But if that same strip club would have a drag queen show in there and invite children to come on, the police are automatically thinking, hey, it's fine, it's a drag queen show. And that's just one example of how the left does it. They conveniently leave things out, or they leave whole stories out. What am I talking about? Well, this comes from Fox News, where Riley Gaines was the person that swam against the transgender guy that said, hey, I'm a girl, because he sucked in the men's department and went to the women's and became a national champion in swimming. She was one that competed against him. And she came in second. So in reality, she is the champion of that year. But because of, and I can't even think of the guy's name, but he beat her out. But anyway, so former NCAA swimmer Riley Gaines reacted to an email San Francisco University sent to students following a protest at the Turning Point USA event, where Gaines gave a speech and criticized the claim that students peacefully protested. So what happened was Gaines was at this event, and while she was at this event, she was physically assaulted by the people that came to protest her being there. Now, look, okay, I'm gonna use an example of me. Okay, if I get invited, and I'm not that big, I'm not like Matt Walsh or Michael Knowles or anybody like that, but if I get invited to an event and I'm talking, and I hear there's protesters outside, I don't have a problem with protesters. I don't have a problem with anybody peacefully protesting. What bothers me, however, is when that protest gets violent, and that is not a protest. That becomes a mob and a riot. I am for peacefully protesting. It's in the Constitution. It's under the First Amendment right. You have that right. You have that right to do that. But when it becomes violent, then there's an issue. And this was happened to Miss Riley Gaines in San Francisco. She was giving a speech. Protesters, I'm doing air quotes, showed up to protest her being there, and they physically assaulted her. They came after her. And remember, I'm pulling this point to the back for the last segment, where the media will praise Nike and praise Budweiser for helping the LGBTQ community. That is good publicity. But I bet you never heard this besides Fox News and other networks that are more conservative. Well, they went ahead and sent a letter, and listen to how they said this. They were peacefully protesting. But this is so the email says, but we may also find ourselves exposed and this divert view, excuse me, and even views we find personally abhorring, the email said. According to Lamas, those encounters have sometimes led to discord, anger, and confrontation and fear. We must meet these moments with unity and with a shared value of learning. Thank you to all our students who participated peacefully in Thursday's evening's event. It takes tremendous bravery to stand in a challenging space. I am proud of the moments where we listen and ask insightful questions. I am also proud of the moments when our students demonstrated the value of free speech and the right to protest peacefully. These issues do not go away, and these values are very much at our core. So the university that Miss Gaines was located at said that everything that basically what those students did to Miss Gaines was all right. Hey, they honored it. They peacefully protested. They talk about the freedom of speech and all this stuff. Now, Gaines was on Fox News, and she responds saying she was assaulted and barricaded in a classroom as a result of the protesters. Isn't that peaceful? Ladies and gentlemen, isn't that peaceful? The email was signed by the Vice President of the Students Affairs and Enrollment Managers, Jamal Moore, according to Lama's tweets. Gaines agent Ellie Brumer told Fox News Digital that Gaines was physically assaulted and barricaded in a room by protesters. Instead of a thoughtful discussion tonight at SFSU, Riley was violently accused, shouted at, excuse me, and barricaded in a room by protesters. It is stunning that in America in 2023, it is acceptable for a biological male student to violently assault a woman for standing up for women's rights, Burma said. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all she's doing. She's saying, look, it ain't right that a biological male goes ahead and swim in a women's meet. That's all she's saying. But she is getting attacked that she's anti-LGBTQ. And they're being very angry. And they're demonstrating their anger. But did you see, going back to this point, did you see that on did you see that on anything else than Fox News or the Daily Wire or any other show? No. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the left, for some odd reason, is pushing this narrative of transgenderism and confusion. And basically what it is, transgenderism, is people telling God, hey, you made a mistake. And we know that the left's going to endorse this view of thinking because they are anti-God. They don't like God. They took God away from their platform. Don't you remember? And ladies and gentlemen, they're pushing this narrative, and when it's some bad news on it, hey, let's conveniently not talk about the story, or let something come up where we can go ahead and hide it put it way down in the stack. We might have to talk about it for like 2 minutes, but that's it. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why the media is hurting our nation. Excuse me. This is why the media is not helping America right now. They're trying to propagandize you into thinking that everything LGBTQ is all right. But when something bad happens in the trans community, hey, we got to conveniently just hide that away. And like poor Ms. Gaines. Ms. Gaines is going around. Look, this is how blind the left is. I've seen leftists that do this. You can give them proof in the pudding, and they're still going to tell you no. Look, this woman, think about this, okay? This woman is fighting for women's rights in sports. But the left don't see that aspect of it. They see, oh, she's anti-LGBTQ community because she swam against a trans person, a man that said he was a female, and said, I want to swim, and he dominated that sport, became a national champion of that sport. When you have Ms. Riley Gaines that fought for years to get to that. It is heartbreaking. But the left's not worried about women's sports no more, or women's rights. They're more worried about trans rights. And I'm going to be honest with you, the only time they're worried about women's rights is when the woman is part of the left. But ladies and gentlemen, going back to tying back to my second segment, this is why I brought this out, and this is why I wanted to take time in this third segment, ladies and gentlemen. The left and the media has decided, hey, we don't want the LGBTQ community to have bad publicity, so we're going to conveniently stop talking about how the Nashville shooter was a transgender person. And simultaneously, just conveniently, we're going to have Budweiser, we're going to have Nike, and we're going to have all these people come out and support all the heck on what their customers think, but these big companies are going to support it. Oh, but you heard what happened to Riley Gaines? We're not going to talk about that. You know, the president came back and said it was mostly peaceful. We're not even going to investigate it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a double standard in this nation. And they're trying to propagandize you in thinking a way that you should not think. And look, I'm sorry. Look, I have people that are part of the LGBTQ community, that is family and friends. I understand that. They all know how I feel. So by me saying this, I'm not trying to offend people, but I think I need to make it known. I believe there's two genders in this world. And the left pushing this just shows me how much the left hates God. I'm just being honest with you. God says, it's a male and a female that can only get married. He made it that way, and he only made it male and female. And you have the left saying, well, we think the same sex can get married. And we also think that people could change genders at the drop of a dime. If you think you're a boy and you're a girl, well, you must have been a boy. You were born in the wrong body. And you're basically telling God, hey, you made a mistake. I see that, ladies. And look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm seeing this more and more, especially as I expand on TikTok. People that on the left just hate God. They just don't think he's not real. They do everything in their fiber and beings to disprove that God is not real. And like I said, to tell somebody that if you were born a girl, that you can become a male, or if you born a male and you can become a girl, that right there is trying to say, hey, you're saying God, you made a mistake. And it's sad, ladies and gentlemen. This, like I said, our country is in a reprobate mind right now. They're calling good evil and evil good. And ladies and gentlemen, only revival could change. I'm starting to see that more and more. Only revival can change this nation. Oh, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this show tonight. Well, today. I want to thank you again for listening to the Cajun Conservative Show. If you have been a faithful listener to the show, thank you for being there and supporting me through this whole time and effort. We are one of the fastest growing conservative podcasts in the nation. We rank number 22 as the conservative podcast you should listen to in 2023. Go ahead and like our page. Go ahead and I'm asking you to do me a favor. If you have a not a Twitter account, if you have a TikTok account, go look up at the Cajun Conservative Show. Well, at the Cajun Conservative on TikTok. The reason I'm asking is at the time of this episode, I'm one follow away from 500. It takes 1,000 to go live. I want to start doing TikTok lives. Unfortunately, I don't have the capability of doing that yet because I am short on followers. So if you have a TikTok account and you're listening to this, please go check out the Cajun Conservative and go ahead and follow the show. Let's get TikTok going, ladies and gentlemen. Look, we're 500. Facebook, we're just short of 1,000 of likes. We need that 1,000 like. Go ahead and send us 1,000 likes. If you have a Facebook page and have not liked the Cajun Conservative, go check us out on Twitter, The Cajun Show. Go check us out, ladies and gentlemen. We need your help. We need your support. And if you have been a faithful listener, I thank you. Please continue supporting the show. We love you guys. If you're a new listener, please consider hitting the follow button or the share button the follow button or the subscribe button. Helps out more than you know. I appreciate all your support. Please go check out our website, thecajunconservativeshow.wordpress.com. And just always remember that Jesus Christ is King. He's coming back. He's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart because Jesus has overcome the world. If you want to know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, reach out to me. I'll tell you how to make Jesus your Savior in heaven, your home. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good one.
Jesus Christ has risen, and he